Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual. My name is Utsav Parekh and here are the top stories of the day. Syria's ousted President Bashar al-Assad reportedly survived a poisoning attempt in Moscow. According to a report, Assad had fallen seriously ill on December 29th. He experienced severe coughing and choking. Medical tests reportedly confirmed the presence of a poisonous substance in his system. Reports say he's now in a stable condition. Israel bombed army positions in the south of Syria's Aleppo city. The strikes reportedly targeted defense and research facilities. 7 massive explosions were heard during the attack. Israel has been conducting strikes on Syrian military assets. Israel says this is to stop weapons from falling into hostile hands. France's Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot arrived in Damascus earlier today. Barrot will also be joined by his German counterpart, Annalena Baerbock. They will meet Syria's de facto leader, Abu Mohammed al-Jolani, on behalf of the European Union. This will be the highest-level visit by a major Western power since rebel forces took over Syria last month. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has authorized Mossad to continue Gaza ceasefire talks. The talks between Israel and Hamas are taking place in Qatar's capital, Doha. This comes days after both sides traded blame for the slow progress in negotiations. An official also said that a team from Hamas has reached the Egyptian capital, Cairo, to prepare for the Doha talks. Israeli airstrikes killed at least 68 people in Gaza yesterday. The Israeli military also hit a humanitarian zone in Khan Yunis city. The strike killed the chief of Gaza's police force and 10 other officers. 57 others were killed in Israeli strikes in Khan Yunis and in North Gaza's Jabalia refugee camp. The Israeli military said it struck Hezbollah rocket launchers in southern Lebanon yesterday. Israel hit the area around Nabatea city. The Israeli military said it asked Lebanese forces to neutralize rocket launchers that posed a threat to Israeli civilians and troops. The attack came amid the fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon. The Israeli military also said it intercepted a missile launched from Yemen. The missile launch set off air raid sirens in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. The IDF received reports of shrapnel falling near Modi'in city after the missile was intercepted. One person has been killed in a Russian bomb attack on Ukraine's southern Zaporizhzhia region. Local authorities say Russia fired 11 guided aerial bombs on the village of Stepnogorsk. A 5-story building was destroyed, killing 1 man. His body was removed from under the rubble. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that US President-elect Donald Trump could end the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. Zelensky said that Trump could resolve the issue with his unpredictable approach. Zelensky said he believes that Trump wants to end the war. In the past, Trump has claimed that he will end the nearly 3-year conflict in 24 hours once he's in power. In the US, at least 2 people were killed after a small plane crashed in Southern California yesterday. The incident took place in the city of Fullerton. At least 20 others were injured during the incident. The plane crashed through the rooftop of a commercial building. Firefighters and the police arrived on the scene and battled the fire that broke out. Chaos unfolded in the South Korean capital Seoul as investigators attempted to arrest impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol. The investigators were first blocked by pro-Yoon protesters outside his house. Then, presidential security forces faced off against the police, forcing them to abandon the arrest. Yoon faces allegations of fomenting an insurrection. He made a botched attempt to impose martial law on December 3rd. Since then, he has defied multiple summons for questioning. China grapples with the spread of the human metapneumovirus, or HMPV. It's a respiratory virus that is spreading across the northern provinces of the country. The virus is mostly seen in children under the age of 14. The outbreak has overwhelmed Chinese hospitals and comes 5 years after the COVID-19 pandemic. India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar held a meeting with the Foreign Minister of the Maldives, Abdullah Khalil. The meeting took place in India's capital, New Delhi. Jaishankar said ties with the Maldives reflect India's neighborhood-first policy. He also reaffirmed India's constant support to the island nation. Jaishankar added that there was still much to be done to strengthen the ties. The Maldivian Foreign Minister is on a 3-day visit to India. At least 27 migrants have died after 2 boats capsized off central Tunisia. At least 87 people have been rescued. A search for the remaining missing people is still underway. The boat passengers were mostly from sub-Saharan African countries. They were trying to reach Europe. In climate news, people in northern India woke up to a thick layer of fog this morning. Flight and railway operations were hit due to the bad visibility. New Delhi Airport issued an advisory for possible flight delays throughout the day. The Indian Weather Department has warned of dense fog in northern India over the weekend. California kicked off 2025 with a promising start with its winter snowpack, as it offers hope for the state's water supply. However, officials warned that consistent snowstorms are essential to maintain momentum and meet long-term water needs. Heavy rains over New Year's Eve triggered severe flooding across northern England. This led to the partial collapse of the Bridgewater Canal's embankment in Cheshire. Drone footage captured the damage, which left residents trapped in a block of flats without running water. The UK's electricity grid reached its cleanest levels in 2024. 58% of the energy came from low-carbon sources last year. This is according to a report by Carbon Brief. Wind and solar power hit record highs, driving a significant reduction in carbon dioxide emissions per kilowatt hour. 9 out of 10 new cars sold in Norway in 2024 were fully electric. The country is inching closer to its ambitious goal of transitioning entirely to EVs by 2025. Tesla emerged as the top-selling brand, followed by Volkswagen and Toyota. Norway's success stems from a mix of high taxes on petrol and diesel cars and exemptions for electric vehicles. Russian authorities announced that last month's oil spill in the Black Sea was smaller than originally feared. The spill occurred when 2 aging tankers, battered by a storm, leaked oil on December 15th last year. Initial estimates, based on reports from a tanker's captain, suggested a massive spill. However, experts have revised the oil spill figure to approximately 2,400 metric tons. Despite the lower volume, the environmental impact remains severe. Moving to business news, oil prices continue to extend gains globally, closing at their highest in over 2 months in the prior session. The gains come amid hopes of governments boosting oil consumption for economic revival and a consequent rise in fuel demand. Brent crude futures rose by 22 cents to over $76 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude rose by 25 cents to over $73 a barrel. The U.S. electric vehicle maker Tesla reported its first decline in annual deliveries yesterday. The automaker delivered fewer than expected vehicles in the 4th quarter. Tesla shares fell by more than 7% after the announcement. The U.S. car maker witnessed a 1% fall in deliveries compared to 2023. Upping its counter-offensive against the U.S., China has sanctioned 10 more American defense companies. The second round of sanctions in less than a week has taken the total number of sanctioned firms and individuals to 45. The sanctions follow the US's arms sales to Taiwan. The sanctioned defense manufacturers include subsidiaries of Lockheed Martin and General Dynamics. Meanwhile, outgoing US President Joe Biden has reportedly decided to block the Nippon Steel and US Steel merger. The decision was reportedly contrary to his advisors' concerns over hurting US-Japan relations. Biden's decision will put an end to Nippon Steel's $14.9 billion purchase proposal for US Steel. New unemployment benefit applications in the US fell to an 8-month low last week. Initial claims dropped by 9,000 to 211,000, marking the lowest level since April. The drop pointed at low layoffs at the end of 2024. It was in consistence with a healthy labor market. LNG exports in the US jumped near record high in the month of December. The exports rose to 8.5 million metric tons. In 2023, the December exports touched 8.6 million metric tons. However, the 2024 annual LNG exports hit 88.3 million metric tons, up from 84.5 million metric tons in 2023. With this, the US continues to be the world's largest LNG exporter. Tech giant Apple has agreed to pay $95 million in cash. This is to settle a lawsuit which claims that its voice-activated Siri violated user privacy. The complainants allege that the company recorded their private conversations after they mistakenly activated Siri, and it shared that conversation with third parties. US tech giant Meta has appointed Republican Joel Kaplan as its Chief Global Affairs Officer. The position was held by Nick Clegg, the former UK Deputy Prime Minister. The decision comes ahead of US President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration. Trump in the past has opposed Meta's political content and threatened to imprison its chief executive. The Chinese Commerce Ministry has proposed new export restrictions. These curbs involve technology used in making battery components and processing critical minerals. Beijing's series of export curbs marks its bid to maintain its global dominance in the critical mineral industry. Skydance Media and Paramount Global have defended their planned merger. They called the criticism to their $8.4 billion merger deal unwarranted and meritless. The companies urged the US Federal Communications Commission, or FCC, to dismiss the opposition. This comes as a non-profit public interest law firm petitioned the FCC to block the merger. The firm cited concerns about foreign influence on American media, as Skydance has China's Tencent Holdings as an investor. Moving to sports, we start with cricket. Team India were bowled out for 185 runs on the opening day of the 5th Border-Gavaskar Test. Australia's Scott Boland struck 4 wickets as the Indian batting lineup collapsed in Sydney. By the end of day 1, Australia were reduced to 9 for 1, trailing India by 176 runs. Indian pacer Jasprit Bumrah replaced Rohit Sharma as captain for the 5th and final test. This is after Bumrah claimed that Rohit chose to rest. During the toss, Bumrah said, and I quote, "Our captain has shown his leadership." Bumrah had previously captained India to victory in the first test of the series. Meanwhile, in the ongoing 2-match test series between Afghanistan and Zimbabwe, Afghanistan were all out for 157 runs in the first innings of the final test. Zimbabwe's Sikandar Raza and Newman Namhuri struck 3 wickets each. On day 2, Afghan bowlers put up a brave fight by picking 3 wickets in the first session. Australian skipper Pat Cummins has suggested that he may skip Australia's upcoming tour of Sri Lanka. Pat Cummins may choose to stay out to accompany his wife Rebecca during the birth of their second child. Either Steve Smith or Travis Head will lead Australia in Cummins' absence. In football, Rangers beat Celtic 3-0 in the Scottish Premiership yesterday. After leading 1-0 in the first half, the Rangers' Robin Propper struck the back of the net in the 66th minute. Centre-back Danilo scored the winning goal before the final whistle. Manchester United forward Marcus Rashford reportedly turned down a lucrative offer to play in the Saudi Pro League. According to a report, the 27-year-old rejected an annual deal worth over $43 million. This comes amid claims that Rashford may soon leave Manchester United. In tennis, Poland made it to the United Cup semi-finals. The Poles beat the British team 2-0 in the quarter-finals. The winning moment came as world number 2 Iga Świątek beat Britain's Katie Boulter 6-7, 6-1, 6-4 in the semi-final decider. Poland have entered the tournament's semi-final for the third time in a row. Novak Djokovic beat Gael Monfils 6-3, 6-3 in a round of 16 match at the Brisbane International. The Serb will next face Rally Opelka of the United States in the quarters. American Grandmaster Hans Niemann slammed Magnus Carlsen over the joint title win in the World Blitz Championship. Niemann said that no player is above the game. This comes as a backstage video of Carlsen suggesting to play short draws went viral. Carlsen later described his backstage remarks as a bad joke. Carlsen and his Russian rival Ian Nepomniachtchi shared the World Blitz title with mutual consent and FIDE's approval. Five-time Olympic champion gymnast Agnes Keleti passed away due to pneumonia in Budapest. She was 103 years old. The Hungarian legend won 10 Olympic medals, including 5 golds during the 1952 Helsinki Games and 1956 Melbourne Olympics. Keleti was born in a Jewish family and survived the Holocaust during World War II. In entertainment news, Meghan Markle is set to make a highly anticipated return to the spotlight with her Netflix lifestyle series. It's titled With Love, Meghan. The trailer, shared on Instagram shortly after her return to the platform, offers a glimpse into the Duchess of Sussex world. The 8-episode series features Markle alongside guests like Mindy Kaling, Roy Choi, and Prince Harry. It'll premiere on January 15th. Chinese actress Zhao Lusi recently shared her struggles with abuse and blackmail. She stated that these have taken a toll on her mental health. The actor has been on the mend since a photo of her in a wheelchair went viral last year. It was later revealed by close friends that a company member mistreated her, while others turned a blind eye. Zhao has stepped back from all professional commitments to recover following hospitalization. A new Peacock documentary titled Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy delves into rapper Sean Diddy Combs' dark side. The makers have released its trailer. Former bodyguards, interns, and collaborators came forward with startling allegations. The 90-minute feature, premiering on January 14th, explores the mogul's career highs and personal lows. Tom Holland explained why he avoids walking the red carpet at Zendaya's premieres. He calls it her moment. Holland prefers to let Zendaya shine solo for projects like Dune or Challengers. The couple will reunite professionally in Spider-Man 4 and Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Both these movies are set for release in 2026. According to reports, actor Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't see himself ever getting married. The actor reportedly doesn't envision himself as a husband. He doesn't feel the need to tie the knot to make things official. DiCaprio is currently in a relationship with the model Vittoria Ceretti. Actor Jeremy Renner marked the 2-year anniversary of his near-fatal snowplow accident. Renner shared a heartfelt tribute to the medical staff and first responders who saved his life. The actor, who suffered extensive injuries including broken ribs and clavicles, called it his rebirth day. The accident happened in January 2023. David Fincher revealed that he was once approached to direct Harry Potter, but he left the project after pitching a darker and more unsettling version. The acclaimed director envisioned the wizarding world as eerie and imperfect. However, Warner Brothers sought a more traditional, family-friendly adaptation, ultimately choosing Chris Columbus to helm the first two films. Netflix's spy thriller, The Recruit, returns with a thrilling second season set in South Korea. The trailer teases Noah Centinio's Owen Hendricks embroiled in high-stakes espionage alongside TOU. The 6-episode series introduces new faces while retaining familiar cast members like Artie Man and Colton Dunn. The Recruit premieres later this year. Singer Billie Eilish begins 2025 on a high note. Her hit single, Birds of a Feather, overtakes Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso to become Spotify's most streamed song of 2024. Featured on her third album, Hit Me Hard and Soft, the track garnered over 1.77 billion streams. It has already been nominated for several Grammy Awards, including Record of the Year and Best Pop Solo Performance. The 82nd Annual Golden Globes promises a star-studded evening this year. They'll have presenters like Andrew Garfield, Michelle Yeoh, and Anya Taylor-Joy. It'll be hosted by Nikki Glaser, the first solo female MC in the event's history. The awards celebrate the best in film and television. The ceremony will air live on CBS and Paramount Plus on January 7th. That's all for this episode of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching and stay tuned to Firstpost.